Hi kids, it's Miss Patty from Wakanda Area Library, and this week's Take and Make craft is Love Our Planet because we're celebrating Earth Day. So your kit is going to have a paper plate. You can turn this into your view of the planet. And you have a nice big piece of paper where we get to trace our hands. It's already folded in half, so you're gonna put your hand right over it, similar to what we did a few weeks ago for the flower craft. Get a nice big part of your hand and wrist down there, trace it, cut it out, and the red is gonna be for the heart that you can place in the center if you choose. I used blue and green marker on this, symbolizing land and water that we love, right? Because we want to take care of our planet. So a fun option, if you have it at home, how about going outside and letting the kids use some finger paint? That way they can dip their finger in there and it'll be really easy to make the squiggly lines. You can get all the way to the edge. Why don't we give it a try? Give that a little stir, put it in some little cups or on a plate, and just let them use their fingers. That way you can get those nice wavy lines. You can get all the way to the edges. Use whatever you have at home though. If you have a different kind of paint where you want a paintbrush, I showed you a few weeks ago how to take those watercolor chip paints that was in our memory maker. Put those, break those out of the palette, put them on a plate and add a little water, and it's amazing the colors you get from that. Sometimes it's a little easier to take them out of the palette. So look at that. I bet this is gonna dry really nice. So now we've made some squiggly lines. Get some paint again. How about we go over here and let's make another big body of water. You turn your plate and we're just gonna color that all in. Sometimes using your finger, it's a little easier to get these wavy lines. It's good for the kids to experience different materials rather than just markers all the time. We have a big Earth Day display at the library. So if you're wondering, am I too little? Is there anything that I can do to take care of the planet? Yes, there is. Even if it's just sometimes using materials you have at home to make crafts. Being wise with what you have at home, which is called being eco-friendly. Oh, I love that. Should we make one more little one down here? And then what color are we going to use for the land? I'm going to use green. Okay, just wipe your finger off. And we're gonna go ahead and we'll cover in the whole middle with green. Get my little blobs off there. Take care of your work surface. That's why I said outside is nice. Okay, let's do the green. Try and get as close as you can to the blue. But if you don't want them blending together, you can leave a little space. And then once it dries, you can fill in maybe with a little marker. I was thinking black or brown in between to divide the water and land, the little edge. Maybe the brown can be soil. Because soil is important too, right, when we plant things. Okay. All right, this green is nice. Just keep turning your plate around. It's actually much easier to get all the way to the edge with the paint. It's easier than the marker. Going. Now the hardest thing about this project is going to be we have to set it aside to dry if you use paint. So that is one benefit of using a different supply. All right, let's rub it in. Don't forget, if you're painting outside, you put a little rock on your project so it doesn't blow away. Okay, there we go. But while we're waiting for it to dry, we can do our hand cutout and our heart cutout. So I'm going to help you and show you the easiest way to do those. Let's get the edge. Ah, look at it. Very nice. And you see I got a little bit of green there. Actually, I think it's okay. You can just make a little land, or you can go over it with the blue. So we'll just put a little piece right there. Beautiful. I love it. You can always go over some lighter parts as they dry if you need to do a second coat. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me wipe my hands and my surface area. Help your adults out at home by cleaning up after yourself. Now go ahead and set all of that aside. And now why don't we start with cutting out our heart. So grab your scissors, take your piece of red paper. Now the easiest thing to do is fold it in half. Just like so. And now when you make the card, you cut on the folded edge. That way, both sides of the heart will be exactly the same. So I'm just gonna go ahead and you start down and you go up and around. And like I said, if you want, you can draw it out first. Just go up, curve around. Try to use as much as you can. And now you wanna go straight to the center. That. Ta-da! And now let's go ahead and trace our hands. So like I said, it's already folded in half. You can lay your hand out just like so. Spread out your fingers. And let's start at the bottom and just go around. Get as close to your fingers as you can. Keep going around. And come all the way back down. There we go. And then just cut it out. And you can cut it right on the line, outside the line. And don't forget, you can always flip it around on the paper and you won't see the lines. So just cut it right on there. Do both pieces at once so they look exactly the same. And just keep turning. So this is your hands, so this is going to be your representation of how you take care of the earth. So if you have other things at home that you would like to put on there that represent you, you can write a message on your heart. I wrote "Love Our Planet." You could put a sticker of flowers on there because you plant flowers, or trees. You can write a way that you take care of your planet on there, or maybe you can get a separate sheet of paper and write down a few things that you could do at home that can help take care of our planet. What are a couple simple things that we can do? How about turning off the lights when we leave a room? That's a big one. Grabbing what we need from the refrigerator and shutting the door. Or here's even a really hard one. How about turning off the water when you're brushing your teeth? You can save a lot of water that way. All right, so now we are going to open up our hands. And so how you're gonna place them, you can place them like this. And look, so then you're gonna have your heart. Now, because like I told you, the hardest part of this project is my earth is still very, very wet. But when it's dry, You're gonna place your hands on top of it. You can glue it on the back, and you can put the heart in the center. So how I did this one, I glued it on the back, just on the ends where your wrists are. And I even put 2 little pieces of tape there to reinforce it because I wanted this loose, like your hands are actually wrapping around the world and taking care of it. And then I glued the heart all the way down. So I hope you enjoy Love Your Planet craft. And let's not forget, not just to do the craft, but to also take care of where we live for a long, long time. I will see you next week at the library. Bye for now.